Okay. So I just want you to start. I wish we could just show people your before pictures because it is literally crazy. Hold on. Let me mute every people that aren't muted. So it's literally crazy to see like where you've come from. Just like, I mean, I'm sure mentally you feel that way, not just physically, but if you could just kind of tell people like how long you've been in, when you got started, all that good stuff. 'Cause I don't think I've ever heard your story either.
Oh, good. Okay, so sorry to hear my dog running around. We just got into puppies, so she's a little crazy. So I've been in now, April will be 3 years, and I joined April of 2016. And just like most of us, I joined, for me, it wasn't really so much money. I wanted free wraps. And the reason I wanted those is I had lost, for just a little backstory, I'll try to be really quick with that part, is I used to be over 300 pounds. I was 318 pounds that I know at my greatest. And I had loose skin. I had a 9-pound baby in 2003. I didn't decide to lose the weight until 2009. And I didn't do it with It Works. I didn't know nothing about It Works at the time. And I lost it. And then obviously it was like right around 175, 176 pounds. So I had skin. I had skin that I was not comfortable with. I had opened up a fitness studio after my weight loss story back in 2011. And I worked out literally every day of my life. I was teaching 18 classes a week. And skin. I love to say when people say, oh, just got to work out more. No, I worked out every day of my freaking life. And I got skinnier and skinnier, but the skin only got looser and looser. And so because of my studio, I'd have vendor fairs and little marketing events, and I had a bunch of It Works people that would come in, and they're the ones that introduced me. It was actually a husband and a wife. I don't even remember their name. I don't think they're in the business anymore, but they're actually the first ones that first brought the wrap to me. They're like, you need to try this. They had this little dressing booth. They wanted me to go put it on. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I was the most skeptical person of all because I had lost all the weight, working out, hard work, eating right. I was like, there's no magic fix. They're like, no, we're not saying it's a magic fix. We're just saying that, do you want to go spend $8,000 on a tummy tuck, or would you just want to try this? So I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. And so I did. And, I noticed they took pictures before and after in that 45-minute frame. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. So I started buying them from them. She was one of my customers as far as coming into class to do Zumba is what I taught. And so I would buy them, and like here and there, like $25 a pop. And before I know, I was like, well, this is really changing my stomach. And to the point where I would be in class and I was okay with wearing like a top that might show my stomach a little bit. So never ever thought of selling it. That was never an option. It was just more of me just wanting to feel comfortable in my own skin and getting used to the new me who I was. And so for that to be said, from 2011 to 2014, I had my fitness studio. I ended up having 3 locations. It was going amazing. And then one day, guys, I just couldn't keep up with the competition. I didn't offer childcare. Liability insurance was ridiculous. Paying instructors, I had, I think, like about 21 instructors. Paying them 3 locations of rent. Like I said, a music licensing fees. All the things you don't think about when we think about our business now. And I think about, oh my God, there's like no overhead. Like that back in the day, I didn't make $1 until I at least brought in almost $12,000 in revenue to make my paycheck. And you think about, you spent $99 on a business. Like that's nothing. My grandparents loaned me $30,000 to get this fitness studio going. And I went bankrupt after 3.5 years. I could not keep it. I couldn't keep up with the competition. It was a mom and pop organization, and it was good for a little bit, but I couldn't keep up. So long story short, because of those people walking into my studio and offering those wraps, I had shut my studio down in 2014, and I obviously wasn't teaching for a living anymore. I went back into the corporate world. Weight started sneaking back up on me. Not bad, 10, 15 pounds here and there. And I remembered It Works. And I had a friend, not the people that introduced me to wraps. I had this girl that I had been watching on Facebook, and she's my sponsor at the time. And I watched her, and she had closed her hair salon. I knew about these wraps. I knew they worked. I liked them. I still bought them from time to time. But I watched her life, and I was like, how is she doing this? How is she closing her salon? How is she leaving her job? How is she doing this full time, selling $25 wraps? Because for me, at that moment, that's all I knew. That's all I knew what It Works was just these wraps. I just couldn't figure out how many, God, you have to sell so many reps, like how many memberships I had to sell at the gym to get ends meet. I couldn't imagine selling enough wraps to leave my job. So I contacted her. She's like, girl, we got so much more than wraps. You know, we got these, at the time it was like the ProFit, the milk, the protein shake. She's like, you need to try that and the greens and the fat fighter. So those are the ones that I got from her. And literally that was April 1st. By April 8th, I had joined. And I realized I saw so much vision with this company and so much, like I knew the reps worked. I knew what they had done for me. And I jumped all in, and literally April 8th, here I was. And thank God for those people bringing those reps into my studio, because I would have never known anything about it. And here I am now. I joined April. I went diamond in less than 30 days. And guys, this is back when it was the old charts. Now we got all the new charts. It's even better. But I went diamond in 30 days or less than 30 days. And then I went double in July. And I joined in April. And then took me another 9 months to go triple. And then I went presidential this last May. And I earned a $25,000 bonus. So, I mean, you just never know. Here I am. I was a 318-pound girl, say 9 years ago, hating life. Went to a girl that was now owning a fitness studio, to a bankrupt fitness studio owner, to now a girl that's got a very, very profitable business that cost me $99. So, like, you never know where your life's going to take you. So don't ever think it's over, because it's not. And there's so many paths if you just want to say yes and just run with it.
Yes, I love it. I love like just how you just have like totally transformed everything, because that is, I mean, to me, like one of the most important things in this business is just being mentally tough. And I'm sure like your weight loss was probably way harder than this business. Hold on. Is she frozen? Oh, are you frozen? Oh no, you're back. Okay. So, I mean, I'm sure like it literally takes somebody who's mentally tough to be in this business, because there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. And I'm super upfront with people. Like my first paycheck was $34, but I was hyped getting that $34 check because I was rolling into Starbucks feeling like I was rich because I could purchase like 7 Ventis. So I think that the question that I have for you is, what do you feel like has been the hardest part for you about the business?
Well, my hardest part, like for me, like when I jumped in like this, like I said, I was the biggest skeptic of all. So when people talk about, being skeptic, like, and they don't believe in what you're doing, or, they want to give you troubles. To this day, like literally to this day, I had one of my people that used to be one of my instructors in my studio give me a really hard time about the business today. And we were at lunch, and I had one of my good friends with me, and she's like, "Oh, girl, I got your back." I'm like, "No, it's okay." Like, you never get over that, and you get over it, and you learn how to overcome it. But guys, there will always be people in your way that want to be like those negative Nancy's or naysayers or your haters, and they just fuel my fire. Like, they just make me more hungry to prove you wrong. I'd say the hardest part of this business is, for one, getting your mindset. Just like with weight loss, it's all about your mindset. It doesn't matter. My mom would come to me and say I needed to lose weight. My dad would come to me and said I needed to lose weight. I knew I needed to lose weight. My genes told me I needed to lose weight. But it was all about when I was ready to accept that I was worthy to do that. And with this business, is the exact same thing. It's all about mindset, because people can tell you, oh, you can go diamond in 30 days. You can go diamond in 6 months. You can do this. You can do this. You could be a millionaire if you want to. But it's all about mindset. And until you take in the fact that you're good enough and you're worthy enough and that you deserve this just like anybody else, and you may say, well, I don't have a weight loss story, or I don't have her story, or I don't have that story. It doesn't matter. We all have a story, and your story is going to relate to those people that need this business. My story is not going to relate to everybody, because if someone doesn't have a weight loss struggle, they're not going to relate to me. The people that do, yeah, they might. But the people that are a single mom, barely making ends meet, you're going to relate to that person. The person that's never been able to get a break, that's going to be that person. Like, your story is your story. And I feel like God puts our dilemmas, our trials, our hardships on us for a reason. Sometimes we don't get that reason right away. But if we didn't have that hardship, we wouldn't know how to tell people how to overcome it. We wouldn't know how to overcome it. And we would not know, it wouldn't build our character. We would be weak. So because of our hardships, it makes us strong in certain attributes. And we're able to give people hope. And you will relate to those people that need that hope. And that's why we are all such a great asset to this business, because we can relate because there's so many walks of life out there. And unfortunately, we're not all going to relate to all of them. So it takes all of us to be able to relate to so many different people.
Yes, I love that. And I think like like the first part of what you said, I read this quote the other day and it said, you'll never be criticized by somebody who's done more than you.
Yeah.
You're only criticized by people who have done less. And it's so true. So never take advice from somebody you wouldn't trade places with, you know, because sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, well, I'm going to take advice about marriage to somebody who's been divorced 6 times. Like, probably not the best. But it's the same thing, you know, when it comes to this business. Like, a lot of people haven't done this business and don't know the ins and outs of it. So it's just important to kind of have perspective on that. And I love what you said about your story, because I'm a true believer in, like, if you didn't have the struggle, the success wouldn't be as sweet, you know? Yeah. And it's just like, you can't just like, I'm not, nobody, like, we're not Ashley Sinclair. We didn't go president or ambassador in 7 months, you know? And so it's important, because then you're going to be able to coach other people through it. You know, there's a quote that says, you've been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved. So that's kind of the way that I think about everything. And that, you know, I know that I haven't hit ambassador because there's still more for me to learn. And I'm ready to learn that. It's not that I'm not ready, but I know that God has everything planned. And so when, you know, we get to ambassadors, because we've learned everything we need to, and then we'll learn more, you know, when we go double ambassador, right? So, okay, so let's get to the meat of it. Kind of tell me what a day in the life of Dee Brooks looks like, because I think everybody is just like, how in the heck does somebody sign 157 customers in 1 month? Like, do you sleep? Tell us what that looks like.
Okay, so to give you a little background, I do this full time. So I don't have, and I have teenagers. My daughter's 15 and my husband's daughter will be 17 this weekend. So I don't have little kids that I have to like constantly tend to. And so that does help. So if you are a mama where you got young ones, I totally give it to you, because I remember those days when I had a 3 and 4-year-old I was chasing after, and I might not have been able to be on my phone as much. But I do this full time, but I don't ever really feel like, to this day, like me and my husband, we go out to lunch every day, we go to the gym, like literally, you know, our lives are so different from what they used to be. But I know I'm working, and I work really, really hard, and I know that like there's days when I'm stressed, there's days when I'm like, oh God, I gotta get this number. But to be honest with you, I don't ever feel like, I never remember those days where I dreaded it. I never dread it. Like, it's because I love it so much. I don't ever really feel like I'm working like, oh my God, I gotta go to work. Like, it's not that kind of dread. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm very ambitious and I'm motivated. So I have like my goals that I want to hit daily. And I'll tell you this, like, once you start getting certain numbers and you hit, okay, you get 1 LC a day, and then you're getting 2 LCs a day, and then 3 LCs a day, you expect yourself to do that because you've raised that bar and you realize you're capable of holding that standard. And the thing about it I love is, once I was really vocal about it to my team, is that I raised that standard for them. Because now, okay, look, guys, we're gonna do a friendly competition. Every time I get 1, I want to hear when you get 1, when you get 2, I get 2. Like, it's a constant. It's where it's normal. It's not normal to get 157, no, but it's normal to get 1 a day. Like, you should expect yourself to do that. And if you're not, then that's when you like dig deeper. Let's change some of the behaviors or activities that we can do to be more productive, to do so. But like, my day to day, like, I wake up, obviously, and my daughter has to go to high school. She does not drive yet, so I take her to school. I usually wake up at 7:30. I don't take her to school at 8:15. So that 45-minute window is my little window to kind of check up with anybody that's messaged me overnight, or late night if I went to bed earlier. I'm a late owl. So I go to bed early. I go to bed late and wake up early. Like, I don't require that much sleep. But I kind of check out that window. I love that 7:30 to 8 o'clock window, because I feel like I get a ton of people that are either getting their kids to school, getting ready for work. I get a lot of people that are on Facebook. It's kind of like their one little moment to kind of just kind of check up on things in life outside maybe their kids. And then so I take my daughter to school. When I come home, I usually spend about 1 hour to 2 hours in my office, and that's when I do all my follow-ups, my messaging. I do tons of voice messaging. That's why I stay raspy all the time. I talk all the time. Like, I've gotten more responses from being vocal. They hear my passion. They hear my sincerity. You know, just like when the TFX, everything's on back order. You know, you send in them a post or a message saying, hey, everything's on back order, you know, until late February. It's a little different, but when you voice it and say, look, girl, I'm really sorry. I want to let you know this product is amazing. There's a reason it's on back order. You know, we've sold out. We didn't think we would sell this many. Da 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 da. They hear your voice, so they're going to treat you way differently than if you would just type that out. Like they hear your passion, they hear your sympathy, compassion, whatever it is. So I do a lot of voice messaging from that 2-hour frame. And then really, to be honest with you, I work this business into our life. Like I'm messaging throughout the day. If I get a free moment, if I have someone message me, if we go to lunch, I always bring my iPad or my phone with me. I've always got it. And my husband's kind of got to know, he's like, she's going to have it with her regardless. But it's not like I'm not there. I'm totally there, or whatever we're doing. But I love this business so much that it doesn't feel like, I don't feel like I'm having to take, oh, hold on, 3 minutes. Let me go message this person. It's not that. It's just, I work it into my life. And then, you know, I'm posting pictures of my lunch. Meanwhile, people are like, oh, what do you eat for lunch? Or, oh yeah, she's doing, it's like, they're so intrigued. So they keep following you throughout the day. And then I'm in the car line. Well, guess what? I got 30 minutes in the car line to wait for my daughter at 3:30. I'm messaging people then. And you don't think about it, but think about how many times you're on Facebook or Instagram just idly scrolling. So instead of idly doing something, do it with intention. Like constantly be on there and looking for those people that if you see someone complaining about their job, it's a red flag for you to start at least building a relationship with that person. So then, you know, I pick her up. We go to QT every day. It's a little afternoon visit. And if you don't know what QT is, it's a gas station where they have like pretzels and all that good stuff. And it's like Wawa, I think some people have. I found it in Florida. And we do that. And then like from 5 to 6, you know, I'll kind of follow up on stuff. Cook dinner, do dinner, go out to dinner, whatever. And then I get the most interaction with my business from like 8 o'clock until about 11 o'clock. Because I feel like that's when parents are getting their kids to bed, dinner's done, they're on their phone, they're sitting on their sitting on the couch, they got their glass of wine, they're relaxing, they're on their phone, idly scrolling. So that's when you can hit up and really interact with people. And I've realized with this business, it's more of relationship building versus cold messaging or harassing someone. If you just build relationships with people, the business gets so easy.
Yep, I love that. So tell me how you build relationships with people. Like, what does that look like? Because, I mean, I'm sure everybody that you're signing is not people that you've known beforehand, you know? And I think people get confused because they're like, how do I build relationships with somebody over social media if you're not used to doing that? And kind of explain, like, how you do that. Obviously, you said voice messaging, but is there anything else you do besides voice messaging that you feel like really helps?
Okay, so relationships, I do this. So for one, to kind of give you a little bit on relationships, like the way I look at it is, you want people to know you. You want people to know your name. You want them to know your life. You want them to know when they hear your name or they see a notification from you, they know a little bit about you. And the only way you do that is I make intention, like when I said, when I'm intentional, I'm intentional. I like their stuff. I comment on their stuff. I make a point to maybe give them a compliment. You know, and not to be like something like just like, oh, beautiful picture. Be a little bit more intent with that. You know, like, oh, I love that. Where'd you get that outfit? Or, oh my God, where's that restaurant at? Especially if I know it's like somewhere local in my area. Just getting to know that person the same way I would get to know them if they were sitting in front of me. But I also feel like there's ways to, you might think, well, okay, I can like somebody's picture all day long. And the thing about it is also keeping that relationship, keeping your network growing. And I feel like that's something I really got good with over the last year. And it was because I used to think, well, I know so many people. And I did. I knew a lot of people when I had my studio. So when I closed that, I had like 2,000 customers. So I had this huge base already. But you run out of that warm market very fast. That warm market only lasts so long. You can only be as popular as you are. And then you have to build it. And that's what takes time and patience. And people want immediate responses. Well, they don't buy from you immediately. They buy from someone they love. Because think about it. If all of us are on this Zoom right now, we're all posting probably very similar things, similar before and afters. So what makes them buy from you and not the person next to you or whatever? And the reason that is because they know you. And I feel like I do several things. So I build my network every day. I'm constantly growing it. I'm maxed out at 5,000 all the time. I never leave my spots open. And the reason I look at that, there's two things I look at. One of my girls, it's my triple diamond, pointed this out to me one day. I was like, oh my God, it's like genius. It's like, if you're out fishing, you may have heard this before, but if you're out fishing and you're in a pond, or in a lake, would you rather fish in a lake with 500 fish or 5,000 fish? Obviously 5,000 fish. So if you're right now looking at your friends and you've got 500 friends. Why? That's just empty spaces that you're letting just go. It'd be like you are a singer. I wish I was. And your concert is sold out. You want your concert and you have 5,000 seats. You want it to be sold out. And if you only sell to 500 seats, it's like you only got 500 people that are going to hear you and talk about you. Why not get to that 5,000? And so you constantly build that. And the more people that see your feed and the more people that see your content, the more people that are going to buy it. And I do, as soon as I get, like, I feel like when I get a lot of rush of like where I get notifications, accepted, I do a live. I'm big on live videos. For anyone that's scared of them, I tell you, just do it. Get over your fear, get over yourself. Like, lives are everything. And like last night, for example, I had a live I did, and I was very transparent in it. And I went over a lot of misconceptions I feel like the business gets. And I got passionate. I got very passionate about it. Because, when you start talking, it's you. People hear your passion, they hear you. And I had 6 distributors sign up off that one video last night. Yeah, it was $20, but 6 people, like, in a 3-hour period. And it's like, because I was transparent and I wasn't afraid to speak my mind a little bit. And go against those naysayers and go against family members that might not even agree with what I'm doing, because I'm okay with it and I love it. And so I feel like that builds relationships. People will buy from you. And so the moment I go off that video, it's like I connected with them. It's like all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow, I like her. Or she hit home with something with me. And it may not be they buy from you immediately, but they are watching you now because you connected with them. So people think lives are scared. They, you may not look pretty or you don't have your makeup on. Because I have never not done a live video where I talked about a product, my life, my story, where I didn't get an LC, a DT, something off of it. It's because you can only convey your story or who you are from a post so many ways. You can put a million pictures with it. But when you go live, and maybe you get a little vulnerable, maybe you get emotional, but when you show people who you are, they fall in love with you. So you could go tell them you're selling them a stick with mustard on it, and they buy it from you because they fell in love with you just now. So just remember, your lives, your story is so, like, I forget it sometimes. It's so, it hits home with people. And that's sometimes the deal breaker. And I feel like I do that a lot. Another thing I do to build relationships is, I did this in a Zoom one time before, and it really, really works. I got this, actually kind of Jaree Neller said it one time, and I was like, oh my God, that's like genius. So what I do daily is, if you go look on your Facebook right now, and look how many groups that you've been added to without your permission. I didn't look today, so hold on, let me see. You're probably in, if you go to groups, like when you go to the little tab up there, like right now I'm in, oh my God, it just goes on and on. Like groups that I'm in a tool group. I'm in a Pampered Chef Party group. I'm in Fashion Boulevard groups, Totes and More, All Day Lips. I mean, there's, you name it, Jewelry Party, Healthy Life, boot camps, boutiques, everything. So they added me. I didn't ask to be added to any of those groups. So what I'll do is I'll spend like maybe an hour a day, and I will go add people from those groups. I will go friend them. Because my thing is, they did not ask me to be in that group. I'm not going to go harass them. I'm not going to go cold message them. But what got my attention one day is there was this group that someone added me to. I won't tell you all the names. You'll go add yourself to it. But she had 17,000 people in Texas. I've never been to Texas at this point. We didn't even have green carpet in Texas. We went last year. But before then, I saw this group, and I was like, man, she's got some cute clothes in this thing. She added me to it. Didn't know who she was, so I started looking at the clothes. She had amazing boots and jeans and shirts. And I'm like, she posts one t-shirt. She wouldn't even tell you how it ran. She wouldn't tell you the material. She'd tell you what it said. It was like one of those shirts said, like, I love Jesus, and I cussed a little, or whatever. Those cute shirts everybody loves. People were like, PayPal me, ship me. I'm a size this. And I'm like, these women didn't even ask how it ran. They didn't ask what size they should be. They didn't ask, what the return policy was. They just said, PayPal me. And I'm like, these women are spending money on a shirt they don't even know if it'll fit them. And then you'd have women that you'd watch, and they'd say, oh, I'm a size 3X. I'm not going to buy it until I'm a large. I'm like, okay, she definitely needs me. So I just friend them, but I don't go harass them. I friend them, and then I start building relationships. I comment on their stuff. I like their stuff. And the moment I start seeing that connection back, where they're liking me back and they're commenting on me back, that's when I feel like I have the green light to go. when we talk about the green light, it's like, okay, they know who I am now. So if I message them, they know who Dee Brooks is because they've seen my name pop up on their thing a million times, and now they're liking my stuff back. Sometimes they're commenting on me saying, hey, send me information, blah, blah. Like to this point, I think I have, from that one boutique group, like 9 people on my team from Texas now. Like just from that boutique group. Like I had never been there. So it's like, I don't know, I just used my direct surroundings around me to realize like there's so many opportunities right in front of us. I didn't have to go cold message them, harass them, or make them block me. Just build relationships. Just start liking and commenting. I post enough, I'm consistent enough in my posts that they're gonna see what I've got to say, and they're gonna probably come to me. At least make them, intrigued by me. Anyway, put it that way. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, I love it. I love it. So when you're building those relationships, like, to sign 157 customers, like how many conversations are you having a day, and how do those conversations come about? Is it mostly host to post?
I probably say at least 100 a day, and that's throughout the entire day. So if you think, man, that's a whole lot. But if you think of the entire realm of things, from the time you wake up, the time you go to bed, you could talk to 10 people an hour in 10 hours, and that's your 100 people. So that's not that much. But, and it's just like random. It might be random. Some days it might be more than that. Some days it might be a lot less. I do get, for January, for example, I got a ton of host to post. And literally I go through my green, I don't know if you ever looked at green light messaging. I'll go through that and I'll look through anybody I've ever had a conversation with. It could be anything. It could have been about the business. Could have been about a product. It might have been about something completely not related to it work, just a personal conversation. I will go message them and say, hey, would you do me a favor? Will you post this post for me? If I get a customer off of it, I'll give you blah, blah, blah. And here's the post. If you'll do this for me, tag me. I'll do all the work. You don't have to do anything. And I'll take it from there. That's what I did for majority of post for January. And what doesn't really go out, but I have learned that I had to change up that conversation a lot because the algorithm, it just gets, people are like, oh, what are you doing? I send it to them. Next thing I know, it's getting, repeated 100 times. So then I'm having to change it up. Another thing I did for host to post was I would message those people that I had conversations with. But you have to remember, when you're having conversations with people every day, as soon as you click on somebody's name, there's some kind of history with you. So then there's not like you're not cold messaging because there's some kind of history with that person. They might have ignored me. I've had people that have straight up ignored me about a product, or they may have accidentally voted on a poll they didn't mean to hit, an answer to. But when I ask them to do a host to post, they're like, okay, I'll do that. You're not asking me to buy anything. I don't feel obligated. Sure, I'll do that for you. It's also a great indication of the people that bring you no value to your business. If I ask them to do host to post, they read it, they ignore me 100%, and I see that they've ignored me 4 other times, why keep them as a friend? I mean, if they won't even do you a favor for something free, then that's kind of a good indication. When you're maxed out at 5,000, you got to start being picky with who you have. So I'm like, okay, well, they're not bringing any value to the business. I'm public. They can follow me. I go and delete them. So it brings me a little bit of that, like a little bit of indication on that. And then the other thing I've been doing for host to post is I'll go through my friends list and I'll look for anyone that's got over 2,000 friends. Because if they've got over 2,000 friends and I ask them to do host to post for me, that means they've already got a really good following. Like they got 2,000 friends already on their own, strictly just being a college student or taking pictures of sushi or, just loving life, whatever. They got people for a reason. And I got really, really, really good feedback with that last month. I did that is I went through every one of my friends and I had to do it on a computer because it would show you like how many friends they had. And I looked and I started saying, okay, you get 2,000 friends. And I was like, hey girl, you've got a huge following. Would you mind doing this host post for me? Post this for me. If I get 1 or 2 customers, whatever I wanted to get at the time, I'll give you this entire sampler pack, blah, blah. Just post this for me and I will take it from there. You don't have to do anything. I'll tag me and I'll do it all for you. And I was so shocked that not only does that bring me a ton of LCs, but those people that have a huge following, I had one girl that I asked her to do it. She had like 4,000 friends. Within like an hour, she had 86 comments. Like it was like, yeah, I'm interested. So now I'm like, okay, well, hold up. Before I go talk to these people, have you ever thought of doing this business? Because you just got 86 comments in an hour. Like you would rock this. Like you've got a huge following. They already trust you. You've already built your brand. People already respect what you are obviously saying on Facebook or whatnot. And that girl's a distributor now and she's almost diamond right now. So it's like that in its own is like, had I not asked her to do that, I don't think she would have realized her capability of what she had already in her hands, and she had no idea she'd already built it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So do you use the same host to post each time?
Most of the time, I was always on the cleanse, is the one I always used. And then when TFX come out, I did that all last month. That's pretty much all I did was the TFX because it got people's attention. And I made sure we talked about the clinically proven ingredient. They kind of like, ooh, what kind of ingredient? Like it got people's attention and they wanted to see it. And it helped algorithms because if I'd done like the cleanse forever and that just kind of got missed in the dark, now, oh, this is new. I've done coffee a couple of times. I've even done hair, skin, and nails. Hair, skin, and nails is a great one because not everybody wants to lose weight. I've realized that. You know, you can say, hey, do this for me. You know, say, hey, my friend Dee's looking for, 4 people that want to grow their hair out for the summer. And you'd be surprised when people will just say, yeah, I do. And like, I message them from that point on. And as soon as they comment, I friend them. And then I start looking at their friends. Who can I friend on their friends? So I'm constantly always looking for that opportunity to build relationships and grow my network. Because, I mean, I've realized that is key. Like, if you're not growing, you're not growing. Like, period. If you're not growing your network, your check won't grow. Just grow. You want new, fresh meat always to see your stuff all the time.
Yeah. And like, so just so you guys have all different ideas, like the way that I did it when I first started was like, I went to like the popular guys that went to my high school who had like all these hot girlfriends, like on their friends feed. And I just went through and friended a lot of those people too, because it was people that they had met in college and maybe we went to a different college. And so that's definitely a different idea. Going to like the paid advertisements on Facebook, like the ones that pop up. So that's like a huge one for me. So when I go and scrolling through Facebook, let's say I find like, there's this one I've always been seeing. It's like meal prep for like kids, right? Like these. And so the thing is like they know that I have young kids and they're targeting other people with young kids. And so guess what? We're going to have something in common and like something mutual to talk about. So that's just easy, simple ways you guys can grow your network. This is like one of the easiest things to do in the business. It does not take any thought. You're literally, I say it's like Tinder for friends. It's like swipe right, swipe left. You click if you want to add them. You click if you don't. It should not be rocket science. Like, don't overthink it. And I do it like late at night because that's just like when my mind is kind of done. But this is something that you can do that's a little bit mindless. Where you're just kind of going through and just clicking like add. Do not do your suggested friends. That's my biggest suggestion. Do not do your suggested friends because you'll get a lot of It Works distributors and that's not income producing. So you want to make sure that you're getting people who obviously aren't in the business. So somebody asks, are you upselling multiple products or single just from host to post?
Well, I came from the cell phone industry back when I was in the corporate world, and our thing was, get the people in the door. So when I get the host to post is to get one item. That just wants to get their attention. That wants to get their, I don't know if y'all remember back in the day when you got, they advertised the free phone, on the Sunday paper. That was like, it was, hey, the free phone. You signed it to your contract, you got a free phone. Well, the free phone sucked. Nobody wanted the free phone. But they got them in the door. And that's kind of what you want to think your host to post. You don't want to you're not trying to sell them the whole triple threat because they're not going to respond to you when you tell them it's $97. But you want to get them in the door, get their attention, make it simple. And then that conversation is when you can kind of go and say, okay, well, how much weight do you want to lose? If they tell you 100 pounds and we're only selling them one product, then we're really doing them an injustice because they're not going to lose 100 pounds with one product. And that's when I kind of go into my story a little bit. I'm like, look, it's just, you are going to lose something, but I don't feel like you're going to get your best results or you're not going to be the happiest you could be if you did more. And, I try not to stay away from budget and I try not to assume their budget because every time I assume their budget, I'm wrong. The people that I think can afford a lot can't. The ones that I don't think can afford anything have $300 to spend and then I shoot myself in the foot. So it's more or less like, look, this is what I recommend. If you want to lose this much weight, here's where I recommend, and go for and see what their response. If they ghost you, it's probably a money issue. Okay, great. We can talk down. Because I will tell you this, it's easier to go down in price versus it is to go up in price. If you start with only 36 and then you try to upsell them to say, if you sell them on TFX is everything, it's going to save your life. You're going to lose 100 pounds. Why would they need anything else? So yes, you want to get them in the door, but then immediately as soon as I get them in the door and they're in a conversation with me, it's okay, well, what do you got to lose? Now if they say 10 pounds, then great. I'm not going to try to oversell them for something they may not need. But if they say like they got 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds to lose, okay, look, I think you should start with this and then see how this does. And we can kind of tweak you, month to month, see how you go. But it's easier to upsell than down. Like it's easier to take your price and go down versus starting so low to selling them, say this product's going to do everything for them. And then you try to say, oh, well, do you want coffee and do you want the cleanse? Well, why? You said this product was going to do everything for me. So I kind of learned that the hard way. And if you have a customer that point blank says, look, I only got $50 a month to spend. Okay, then great. Let's work with it. But here's your expectations on what I think you're going to get out of this. Versus if you say, oh, yeah, that's 100%. You take this and you're going to lose 100 pounds in like 90 days and you're going to be amazing. Because then they're going to be upset and they're going to think you lied to them. And then that's where this whole misconception of network marketing comes in. So I really feel like it's the conversation. Just be honest. Like, what your budget probably is around that time. Or, you say, oh, $100, but I will tell you this. I've learned this kind of the hard way. I used to think $100 to spend was a lot. Like, ooh, I don't really want to tell them it's $100. That sounds like a lot. The moment I act like it's a lot and I have that in my mindset that $100 a month for their health is a lot, the customer takes on that exact same mindset. But the moment that I'm confident that, look, yes, it's $100, but you're going to get this and this and this and this, and you're going to feel this, this, and this, they will find that $100 if they find it valuable enough and you've sold them on the fact that they're going to feel amazing, look great. They're going to get all these benefits versus this is what's going to cost you. It's 3 months. You got to do an auto ship. You got to do a membership. Like sometimes we sell ourselves out of the transaction because we put so many words in it versus telling them how they're going to feel, how it's going to benefit them. Because deep down, some people are willing to spend anything if they get the feeling that they're looking for or that look they're looking for. So I feel like sometimes we talk ourselves out of the sale because we just say too much.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes like, I thought about this is like, when do people spend the most money? It's always like based on emotion. So like when you have a new baby, when you're at a funeral, or when you get married. Those are like the 3 times people spend like like crazy amounts of money. I spent ridiculous amounts of money on my wedding. And so it's just like, that's the same type of feeling that people are looking for. And if you're not talking in your before and after pictures that you're posting on your page about how this person feels, like if you're posting about somebody else who has a result, be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this girl's results. I can't wait to see how she feels when she tries on a bikini. Instead of just posting about buy this from me, right? Like people need to see this is how you can feel with the products, not necessarily like when you make a post. Like sometimes I think a mistake that I used to make was like I literally would post every single thing, so they didn't have to message me to ask me anything about it. Like it was just like I just put everything in the post for everybody to see, and they didn't, like there was nothing left up to the imagination. And so when you just talk about how the products are making somebody feel, then they need to ask you for the details, and you're going to end up building that relationship that you were talking about. So I love that.
And I was going to say, and think something I've thought about here lately that I've done too is like, and we get in the mindset of thinking, oh, $100 is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. But especially if you're talking to women. Okay, so when you go to the hair salon, I know women that will spend $150, $200 for their hair. But why? Because when they leave that salon, they're going to look completely different, or their hair is immediate gratification. Same way when they go to the nail salon. I'll see girls that will not pay their rent, but they will go get their nails done and their toes done because when they leave, it's immediate gratification. It's like their nails are done. They immediately feel good about themselves. And so that's where she was talking about like that feeling, that look. Like I think we get in our mind like, okay, $36 is a lot to us. So why would they want to spend $100? If people will spend that on their hair and nails for an outside appearance, just think if you can make them feel that same feeling when it comes to their overall body, when they want to look thinner and they want to be thinner. And yes, it takes a little bit of work. It's not just a magic pill, but it's what we say and how we say it or how the people are going to, how they're going to feel. People will spend the money if they need that look. They need that feeling that bad. They will find it. But it's up to us to convey the fact that, hey, this is what you need. This is what's going to help you. Like if you're wanting to look good and feel good, $30 just ain't going to cut it. Like, can you go get your nails and your hair done for $30? No, like you get what you pay for. So it's that exact same thing. We have to take the mindset of the money out of it and what we think they can afford versus what they need. And that will fix a lot of the issues when it comes to upselling and stuff.
Yeah. And I love what you said about like, it's way easier to go down than it is to go up. And so, you know, if you do feel like somebody needs the triple threat, like offer that. And then if they're like, that is, you know, outside of my budget, just say, okay, well, we can start with one of the products a month, you know, or the first month, and then we can move to the different products. So I love that. Okay. So how do you typically like seal the deal? In your conversations, like, do you typically close people the same day you talk to them? And then I want you to like talk about some of your favorite follow-up messages.
Okay, so for when it comes to like, I know one of the biggest things I get on our team is like, well, the 3-month, the commitment, the auto ship, that kind of thing. And one thing I got out of it that I've pretty much used forever, and I really don't have many people tell me no because of 3 months anymore. And it's literally this. So like, I get them in the door, I get the conversation going. So now that I know they want it, so let's say we're talking about the cleanse, it's $36. They want it, they're good, they want to lose several, you know, pounds, they want to feel better. They love the fact that it's only 2 days. Okay, they love everything about the product. They know what it's going to make them feel like, benefit them, everything. And now it comes to that dreaded conversation. Everybody knows it. Well, how am I going to get the 3 months out of them? So the thing that I've learned to get out of my conversation is there's words I do not use. I don't use contracts. I don't use membership. I don't use auto ship, and I do not use commitment. People do not like those words. It scares them. People don't like commitment in real life. They're not going to commit to a weight loss product. So what I do is like, so as soon as I got their attention, they're ready to go. They're like, oh yeah, I'll get it. Okay, what do I need to do? Great. Okay, so today is $36. With tax and shipping, it's going to be blah, blah, blah. That's loyal customer pricing. It just means you got to try any one product for 3 months. Today is $43.41. March 10th will be $43.41, and April 10th will be $43.41. I've told them it's 3 months. They have their dates, and it's like, okay, here's the information I need. I didn't use the word auto ship. I didn't use the word auto draft. I didn't use the word commitment, membership. 9 times out of 10, they just send me the information. And if they don't, they're like, well, I don't know if I want to see information. Okay, great. You can go to our website. Here's how you do it, blah, blah. But I feel like we need to make that so simple. And I've had one customer come back and say, well, you didn't explain 3 months to me. I'm like, well, hold on here. I got the conversation. I sent it to them. They're like, oh yeah, you did. Okay, well, I forgot about it. It's like, don't make it complicated. If they go and say, well, what happens if I don't do 3 months? Then, or what do I need to do if this happens? Or I'm like, great, we can change the product. You don't have to be that one product. We can change it up, no problem. But I think we get ourselves so worked up because we think, oh my God, they got to commit. It's 3 months. They're not going to lose the weight in one month. Like, we need to get them to understand this is a lifestyle that they're choosing. So if they get used to that and they're like, okay, look, we got you. If there's something wrong with that product and you don't feel like you're getting the results you need, we can change you, we can tweak you, we can customize you. But you gotta give us time to get the weight off. You didn't gain it in 90 days, and you're not going to lose, or in 30 days, and you're not going to lose it in 30 days. So let's work with you. And I feel like that's why I close it, and I just make it more of like, hey, I'm committed to you, and you got me for anything you need. Questions, if you're out to eat, you wonder what you should eat. If you are at the grocery store and you're wondering what I should buy, if this is okay, message me. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. And guys, if you're thinking, well, I don't know if that's the right thing for her to eat, just ask your upline, ask your sponsor. Someone will help you get in the right direction, because that person just wants accountability partner. They want someone that's going to help them along the way, and so that they're not alone. And the moment you make them not feel alone, you got a customer for life.
I love that. That's so genius of making them feel like you're committed to them instead of they're committing to you. That is so good. Okay. So what about people who are like, oh, well, I get paid on Friday.
So you're going to get that all the time. And it's usually legitimately true. Right? I get paid on Friday. So what I do is, I don't know if you know this, but I know you can actually do it on your phone now too. So every day I go through my messenger, and in the search box, I type in Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and then I type Friday, or I might type in the words that I use a lot. Like, I'll check back with you, or have you given it any more thought? Any words I always use, I go back in the search field and I type those. I have so many conversations a day, I literally can't remember 30 people that I need to contact on Friday unless I physically write it down. And there's some days where I'm in the car line, at lunch. I may just not be able to write it down, but I always use keywords that I know that I can go back and search, so that I will always be able to follow back up with you. And so I go back in that little key box and type in words that I use all the time. And like Friday's a big one, payday's one, or I get paid. or whatever words you hear a lot. Just type those words in that, and it'll bring up every single message that you've ever talked about, like, and even in the last 2 years. So if you had someone that told you they were going to pay, that we were going to do it on the 15th, if you type in the word 15th, like 15th, it's going to bring up every single person that told you the 15th, or if you said the 15th. And you can go back to those people. I've even found conversations where I typed in random things, and they were like from 3-4 months ago, that I can say, hey, I forgot totally to write back to you, but are you interested? I saw, maybe we talked about coffee or whatever. You'd be surprised, like, oh my God, I forgot too. And then it brings up a whole new conversation. And then sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, girl, yeah, you forgot, but I saw you posted something about this $20 thing, or I want to talk to you about that. And then it brings up a whole new conversation on that. So that's usually how I utilize all my follow-ups, because I never delete any message. I only archive them.
Yeah, I love that. And so so just to go back to like the loyal customer messages, because I want to make sure that I understand how you explain it. So do you say like 90-day challenge, or just say the loyal customer price? It
depends. Like some like with the ThermoFed X, I was doing, I'll tell you exactly what I said. I'll read it. I have it saved in here. That one I did more than 90 days. I feel like that is a product where they need to take it consistently for 90 days. But like the greens, or maybe, something like, or I don't know, like even Fat Fighter, that may not be something they do for the entire 90 days. Because that's one of the ones I feel like sometimes I'll get like, well, I didn't get this result, or I want to try this. So like this is what I send to all my TFX clients. So as soon as they say they're interested, they like the fact that it's only $36, they're like, what do I got to do? I say, awesome. And I can send this to you so you can send it to them. But I say, awesome. It's $36 for a month supply, normally $65 retail. It is a 90-day program to get the full effect. So today is $43, $41 with tax and shipping. And then again on March 10th and April 10th, and you get a bottle each month. This is our third pre-order batch, which will ship out to you late February. Just need some info, and I'll get you all set up. And so that's how I go for the 90 days. But if it's just like a product where I'm thinking, okay, they're probably going to try it this month and want to do something different next month, that's when I'll say, okay, great, today blah, 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 but this is low customer pricing. It just means you got to try any one product for 3 months. Just let me know each month what you want, and I'll change it for you completely, or you can stick with the same thing. And they're like, oh, great, that's kind of like Birchbox or whatever. I've had a couple people say that I can change monthly or whatever. The more I feel like I've made it not a big deal, the more they don't make it a big deal.
Yeah, and somebody asked, do you sign most of your LCs up for them, or do you have them go to your site?
90% I try to do it for them. Because I just feel like if I do it for them, I know it's right. I know they're going to get the product right. I know they get their address right. I know they're going to get the right price. It causes a lot less confusion. Because I've built such good relationships, these people are okay with giving me their credit card numbers. We've talked. I voiced them. I had a girl tell me the other day, she's like, well, I'm going to give you my credit card number because I heard your voice and you sound legit. Because they've heard you versus a robot, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Mm-hmm. It pays off to do your voice message, I promise. But they're like, oh, well, she sounds real. Like, okay, I've got an actual person. I always give them my cell phone number. They don't have to voice, they can call me or text me or whatever. But very rarely do I have, usually the only ones I send to my website is because they want to use PayPal.
Yeah.
And that's usually the only reason why I send them to that. And even then I walk them through word by word by word. Make sure you click this. Because you know how it is. They'll get up getting the retail price, or they'll get charged the $50 membership. Then they get confused and they think you're lying to them. And then it's just like chaos.
Yeah. And I love that, because I feel like then you can actually like help establish like even more that connection, because they know they can trust you when they just go to, like, instead of going to the website themselves and it feeling like super impersonal, like even if they do go to the website, then you're walking them through every single thing.
Yeah, well, I even said, I'm like, if you want just like go to Amazon, you go to the website. That's how impersonal that is. But why go to the website if you've got a person? I'm sitting here, I'll face you, I'll talk to you, whatever. Like that's the beauty of this, is that they don't have to walk into a GNC and feel intimidated and some Joe Schmo's gonna tell them every product in the world they need, but they're not gonna be able to call that person tonight and say, hey, I don't know about this, or hey, I'm thinking about eating this. Is this okay? That is where we come into the point where you're such an asset to that person's life, because they can message you tonight and say, look, I know I bought from you yesterday, but I was just curious. I was wanting to buy this granola bar. Is this okay to eat? Like, they have you to contact. They can't do that with Amazon. They cannot do that through your website, and they cannot do that through someone at GNC. they have you. And if you really realize how much of a valuable asset that is, like they have someone they can physically contact, like right then and there. You may not answer them immediately, but the fact they've got that direct source, like I love that. That makes me feel secure. And like if you're on a weight loss journey, you want to feel like you've got that help. Like when you're just kind of like looking in the refrigerator that late at night and you're thinking, oh, I want to eat this and this and this. And you've got someone you can say, hey girl, talk me out of this. Like that is amazing to have that resource.
Yeah, for sure. And do you ever like forward voice messages so you don't have to re-record them?
Long as I don't use a name.
I know. So there's a way you guys can forward voice messages if it's like explaining a certain thing or explaining the 90-day challenge or whatever you want to do.
And you need to do that. Otherwise you will be 100% hoarse.
Yes. Okay. So kind of switching it up, cause everybody who asks for like the wording, I'll get it from her after this, just so you guys know. And I'm sure you have like an initial message that you
I'll send it to you.
So kind of tell me how you get new distributors started. Cause I mean, I know you sign a lot of distributors as well. So what is like your routine for getting them going so that they can sign as many customers as you sign and it's like a duplicatable process?
So I have on my team page, every month I post like a new, I have like announcements. I have like 15 different announcements, like all the newest trainings or Zooms like this even or whatever. But we have an LC post and we have a DT post. And so I'm one of those ones where at first I was like, ooh, if I'm like enrolling a lot, I don't want to overwhelm someone and think, okay, I'm just not good at this because I can't do what she's doing. But at the same time, I realized speed of the leader, speed of the crew. And if you want your team to do exceptional well, then you need to do the exact same. You can't ask them to do something you can't do. They will respect you more and they'll work harder for you when they know you're able to produce the exact same thing you're asking of them. So, I'm like 1 LC a day. You can do this. Like if you were a store owner, you opened up a retail store today and you did not get one new customer a day, you couldn't stay in business. So you need to understand in your mindset, like one customer, you can do that. You can totally do that. It might take some work. It might take some, messaging and follow-upping, but you can do one. And if you don't get one today, you might get 2 tomorrow. So you're going to come up with it. But so we have a thing every day. So when I sign up somebody new, I add them to our team page. And on that team page, they're constantly seeing where we say, okay, we got LC1, LC2, LC3. We keep count. That way, if anybody ever says how many LCs you got, everybody knows how many you got. And we love it, and I love it. I feel like because it gives that little bit of friendly competition, but they also know that I'm on it. Like I'm not asking them to do something I'm not wanting them to do. But it's like I'm setting that bar. Okay, so if I can do this every single month, then you can do 30 a month. If I'm doing 50 a month, you can do 20 a month. And you start it, and you may in the beginning may only do 10 a month, and that's great. But then you do 10 a month, your team's going to do 10 a month. And you do 20 a month, now your team's doing 15 a month. They're always going to be, you give 100%, they're going to give 80%. Nobody's ever going to give as much as you probably do because you are the leader, and that's the way it should be. So I feel like I constantly lead with that to show them, like, this is possible and this is how we do it. But I don't know, like I just constantly doing the host to post, anything that I find out that works, that's working for me, I'll go live on the team page. I'll share that with them. Tips and tricks always. And I love getting other people that I realize on my team that are brand new even, that are doing really well. Like, hey, share with us, go live. Tell us what you're doing. Because I learn from them too. Because I never thought about it. Like that's like a great idea. Like I'm going to do that. Because we need to learn from each other. We're all going to figure out ways. There's things that are going to work for me that won't work for you. And there's things that are going to work for you that won't work for me. But then there's things that may work for her that really work for me. So it's like you have to learn that. So I feel like just being transparent. I share my life constantly, and I feel like I always practice the walk, talk the talk. So I feel like if I'm doing that, they're gonna learn to follow in those footsteps.
Yeah. So do you do like specific training? I love that you set the standard high. I think that's like genius. Instead of just being like, oh, for loyal customers to get your shoppings free. I saw somebody post about like the 500 club, which I loved. Like everybody doing the 500 club instead of just doing the 400 club.
Yeah.
And so setting that standard high, and do you like walk them through conversations, or do you have that on your team page, or kind of how do you get that set up?
Yes, on our team page, I've got a bunch of scripts that we use, just like the generic, like Fat Fighter, the Cleanse. things that like, I feel like in the very beginning when you're like, oh my God, I don't know where to start. Here's some posts you can use. Here's some responses you can use. So I send them, they all have that. Everybody on the team page has that. And I'm constantly adding to, like, I added Thermofite X and the coffee and different, as we add new products in. And then I do two things. I have the team page, but then I have a chat group. So as soon as I get a new person, I have a new chat group. So I feel like I'm keeping all my kind of like my newbies together. And when I feel like they're graduated from that chat group, we have our main chat group. So then I put them in the main chat group. And that's where everybody, because I don't want the new people blowing up the chat group of the experience that are like notification after like, how do I work Instagram? You know, those are the ones you don't need on that chat group. So I have like a beginner chat group where I expect them to ask a ton of questions. Like I know my phone's going to blow up for those people. And then I kind of give them some feedback on that. And I'll even do daily tasks. Like here's a daily post. And if you do that, kind of like here's a daily post. Like, here's how I want you to post. And then here's a great response. And I always tell them they can use mine too. But it's like people love that direct guidance and that direct direction. Like, okay, tell me what to do. Because if you've never been an entrepreneur or you've never been a business owner, I feel like those people need that. Here's step 1, step 2, step 3, and they'll get it as they go. But in the beginning, they need that direct, like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm clueless. Like, I have no idea. People say, what do I say for my why? And that's the one thing I will not guide them through. I'm like, your why is your why. I need you to take a step back, think about it. I will not give you a script for your why, because your why is you, and you want to make it completely different from anyone else, because that's what's going to make you stand out and people relate to you. So I make them do their why first, and then I give them some posts to use, daily tasks. I add them to the chat group, of course on the team page. And I've got like my tips and tricks videos that I do, like signing like for host to post, because they have like no idea what host to post is. Just like normal things, how to grow your network, like going into groups. You know, if you're added into a group, go friend people in your group. Because some people, when I add them, they've got like 200 friends. And they're like, I mean, they're not going to get a big response because they've only got 200 friends. So it's like trying to get them to understand, okay, to build that network. So that's my biggest thing is like, work and getting used to going live, and get over that fear, because that's one of the people's biggest fears, and just getting used to knowing what to post. And if you don't know what to post, it's okay to ask. We'll guide you through that. I try to make it very step by step, but at the same time, I want them to know this is their business. It's not a job. Like there's not A, B, and C that will get you D. It's your business. So your personality is going to play a big role in that. But people, I do realize, still need that little bit of step-by-step guidance until they get to that one, at least to that one point. I feel like once they get to Ruby, they get it.
Yeah.
But get them to Ruby.
Yeah, for sure. So in that chat, and like chat, do you put just your personally enrolled, or do you put like some of your downlines personally enrolled?
I do all my personally enrolled, and then I tell the people that are enrolling if they feel like this would be a great chat group for them, especially if they're a brand new person and they don't have like a team page and they know that I'm so involved with it. Like, as long as you don't mind me training your people or helping your people, like I want us all to succeed, obviously. To put them in it, they'll add their own. Because I always tell people, like, until you're diamond, don't make a ton of separate stuff, because then people get overwhelmed. If you are creating a team page over here and a team chat group and this and that, they got like eight chat groups going on. They're like, I don't even know where to go. So I try to make it like, until you go diamond, try to keep all that within the team. And then maybe once you go diamond, you can start getting a little bit more separated. But to be honest, like, I love the one team, one mission, like where we all, like, I don't mind training everybody. I'll help you in any way I can, because I'm going to learn from you and you're going to learn from me, and it's one big collaboration. So
yeah, I love that.
I look at it.
Okay, last thing. What is like? Okay, well, there's two. What are you reading right now, like, or listening to?
I'm bad about it. I don't listen to a whole lot of stuff. I read. I go on YouTube. This is what I do a lot of times. I'll go on YouTube and I will just search ambassadors, or I love Carrie Young. I go on her YouTube and I find I don't know why her videos crack me up, because she's always just so excited. It could be the smallest thing, but she's so excited. And like, I don't know, I get they're so genuine. So I get like really excited about her videos. And then one book I got in front of me right now that I love is, I don't know if you've ever, this is a local preacher in our area. But if you're not, he's on Amazon, he's on eBay. But this is a really good book. It's called The Most Excellent Way to Lead. It's Perry Noble. He was a pastor in South Carolina, and he's actually kind of growing a new church. He's also a good friend of Stephen Furtick that loves, I know Cammie and them follow. But this is a really good one. And then this is the other one I love. It's a Dale Carnegie book, but it's How to Win Friends and Influence People. So that one has got really good things. I'll kind of like look at paragraphs here and there. But to be honest, like I don't know, like I can read a million books and I can listen to a million podcasts, but I want to hear people that are in the business that are doing it, that are like in our line of work. Because you can read a lot of people that are like in network marketing necessarily, but it might not be in this business. I don't know. I'm the most influenced by people that have overcome the obstacles that I'm facing. And I want to hear from the people that are doing it. So I go to my ambassadors that I know have overcome those obstacles that I'm looking at. And if they've overcome it, then I can overcome it. So I'm more inspired and influenced, not by an author that I don't know, but more of less, okay, she's done this. I know her. I met her at conference. Like I want to do what she's doing. And even it may not be an ambassador. Maybe it's you, Kelsey. I heard your thing, on social media. Like I'd rather learn from people that are exactly in the grit that I'm in. And I know they know what I know. And I know that they've experienced what I'm experiencing.
Yeah, I think that's like a lot of wisdom right there. Okay. So what do you wish you would have known when you first got started?
Okay, so that's a good one. I wish I would have known that what I had in my hands, because at first I didn't realize it. Because you got to think, remember, I came from the business world where I had owned a studio that cost me $30,000 and it had failed and it went bankrupt. So I wish what I would have known is that what you have in your hands, whether you spent $99 on it, $199, $20, is that you have a freaking franchise in your hands that could be worth millions. Like my studio would have never made the money that I have made. Like I've been in this business almost 3 years, and we are almost $500,000 in. $500,000, guys. And like that business, my fitness studio that cost me $30,000 that failed, and I say it failed, but it brought me a whole lot of people into this business. So it wasn't a failure. But I look at that and I'm like, if this would be my greatest word of advice to you, is if you treat this like a multi-million-dollar business, it's going to pay you like a multi-million-dollar business. If you treat this business like a hobby, it's going to pay you a $200 check a month hobby. But if you treat this business like it is a freaking franchise that you just freaking took a loan out on your house, your car, like everything you own, you just took a lien against it because you want this business to work so bad, it's going to pay you like that. Because I've never spent $99 ever where I had this kind of return of investment. But it only is going to happen. There's only two reasons you fail, is if you don't ever start and you listen to everybody else, or you quit too soon. And I've had so many people that quit too soon that have come back for this $20 deal. I had one girl that quit in 2017. She came back. She never did anything with the business. Actually, I have two people. They both joined back last year sometime. Both of them were $9.99 dealers. Never did a thing with the business. Nothing. They didn't see any value in it because guess what? They only spent $10. They came back at 20. They joined on the exact same day, both on January 3rd. And guys, one went Ruby on January 23rd, and the other one is about to go Diamond end of this month. And that was the second go around. So it's all about timing. Like it doesn't matter if it wasn't their time then, it's their time now. But guess what? They're treating it now as like their life depended on it. They didn't treat it like that then. And now they're treating it like actually as a business. So just if you treat it like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. More so over and over and over.
And over and over and over. I love it.
It blows my mind at times. Like I get so excited, and then when they change the charts, I was telling my husband, like he will go triple this month. I'm like, babe, it didn't even hit home with me. He was sitting in like conference with me. He's like, I'll go triple this month. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. But I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know if I'll go ambassador this month. Like, there's no way it's happening. I can't get my volume here. And it didn't even hit me that he would get a $25,000 bonus for going triple. And I'm like, we were driving home on Sunday, and I was like, oh my God, you're going to get a $25,000 bonus. And it hit me. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I tried telling you that. And you act like it was no big deal. I'm like, that was not even what was going through my head. So it's like, it blows my mind. Like, it's right there in front of you, and you just have to like, just baby it and work it and like massage it and work it. And it will grow into something you never thought it could grow into.
$1 million a month. That's the goal.
One day.
Well, I appreciate you so much for hopping on. Seriously, thank you for taking your time. I know that hopefully every single person took something away from this. And thank you guys who were on it for treating this like a business, because I know that, it takes time and investment to learn this stuff. And the first part can be a little bit overwhelming if you're new, but it's so amazing. Like once you get in it, and it's not one of those things where it's like, it's going to be like this mentally exhausting for a long time. Like it's really just the first like week or two, and then you're like a pro. Like seriously. And I did not sign my first customer for 3 weeks. So if that's you, if you're feeling discouraged, like don't like speak too soon. Like she said, don't quit too soon, because you never know what can happen. So thank you guys for hopping on, and thank you, Dee, so much. I learned so much, so I'm excited to implement it into my business. So I appreciate you, and everybody have a good night.
You too. Y'all have a good one.